to see your loving hand refining fires fast. God's refining fire, God's refining fire. May it purge me now and make of me what you require. Oh Lord, feed the fire, your refining fire. Now as gold and silver must be tried, Lord, may my heart be purified. Lord, send your great refining fire, that I may stand when you appear, abide till your return. Oh, place the fire perfectly, that all the dross be burned. Whether furnace of affliction, Lord, or unfulfilled desire, bring forth a vessel pure and tried by your refining fire. God's refining fire, God's refining fire. May it purge me now and make of me what you require. Oh Lord, feed the fire, your refining fire. Now as gold and silver must be tried, Lord, make my heart be purified. Lord, send your great refining fire. Amen.
See, I can even zoom
You
in.
can
on
count to
y'all.
3 now, right?
Yes, ma'am. 1, 2, 3. All right. That'll work. All right. Y'all stay. All right. Good morning again. Once again, happy Mother's Day. If you have your Bibles, turn to 2 Timothy chapter number 1. 2 Timothy chapter number 1. As I was praying and seeking the Lord's face on what to preach this morning and what He would have me, the direction He would have me to go, I kept going back to this verse. And for some reason, I preached another message out of this verse that God allowed me to preach. And I started thinking and praying. You know, there's several different messages here in this verse. What we have going on here in 2 Timothy is Paul's charge to Timothy. And we see that Paul is telling Timothy what he has to do and of how to live and all that. And what I want to draw out of this morning is a mother's heritage and remembrance. A mother's heritage and remembrance to her children. And if you're in places, if you would go ahead and stand, we'll read verses 3 through number 7. Right quick for our text. And it says, I thank God whom I serve from my forefathers with pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembrance of thee in my prayers night and day, greatly desiring to see thee, being mindful of thy tears, that I may be filled with joy when I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in thee, which dwelt first in thy grandmother Lois and thy mother Eunice. And I am persuaded that in thee also. Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God which is in thee by putting on my hands. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Let us pray. Father, we come to you once again, Lord, just thanking you for the precious reading of your word, Father. Lord, I pray now that you'll be with the preaching of your word, Father, Lord, that the people won't hear me, Lord, but they'll hear you, Lord, speak through me, Father, Lord, the word that you would have me to say this morning, Lord, it will be a help to someone that we can leave closer to you, Father, Lord, or maybe there's one that's lost and undone without you, Father, Lord, they can leave knowing that gift, Lord, that their mothers prayed for, Father, Lord, where it started, Lord, as young Timothy here. Lord, and I thank you and I praise you and I love you for everything that you're going to do and everything that you've done and all this I ask in Jesus' name I pray in. Amen and amen. You may be seated. I want to look at a few things this morning, not long at all, that we can find, that we can see inside of our text of here in 2 Timothy chapter number 1. First thing I want us to see is a mother's faithfulness. We can look at a mother's faithfulness and we can see a lot of things by looking at our mothers and seeing where they was and how God's used them and how God's brought them and how her faithfulness to God has helped our lives. I can look and I can remember that different ones inside of the church and their faithfulness. I can remember the last few years that I've been here, I can always count on a few faithful mothers being here. I can remember Miss Susan walking in and sitting back there on the back pew. She taught Wendy and Mr. Walter Ray her faithfulness. She taught of how to be faithful to God and to His house. I can remember every Sunday morning walking in and sitting on this second pew right here. Miss Sylvia would be sitting here during Sunday school. And then when I would come back up for preaching, she would be sitting where Miss Cheryl's sitting right now. I can remember her faithfulness. That no matter what, during the time and during the years that I was here, I could always count on their faithfulness of being in the house of God. And you know what? That tells me that she taught her children to be faithful. That they taught their children to be faithful. Just as we see here that Paul was saying, I charge you, Timothy, and to put into remembrance all thy forefathers, that without ceasing they had a pure conscience and they put in remembrance of thee. And I can see different ones throughout the Word of God, and I can see different ones throughout my life of their faithfulness, that they have their pure conscience of praying and putting in remembrance of showing me who they serve. I can look at different people, I can look at different mothers, and one thing that I can recall, that I can remember, how many husbands or how many kids would be in church if it wasn't for their mothers. A lot of husbands would be at home if it wasn't for their mothers. A lot of kids wouldn't be in church if it wasn't for their mothers. I can remember my mama during her times that watching her as I grew up and watching her and Dad, I can remember her faithfulness to the Word of God and her faithfulness to God. I can remember different things and I can look at different lives of mother figures in my life, of when I figured or when I thought that how in the world did they go on, but yet their faithfulness to God continued to show. Their faithfulness to God continued to be saw by everyone. When no one else was around, do you know one person that will be praying for you? That's going to be your mother. Do you know that when no one else is going to love or going to like you, you know who will love and like you? That will be your mother. But so many times we forget the remembrance of what our mother put inside of us, and we try to do the things that we want to do. And if that old saying said, what's the old saying that they always used to say? I'm not trying to get you not to do what you don't or what you want to do, but I'm just trying to teach you because I've been there and I know you're going nowhere. And if we would just listen to Mama in the first place, our lives would end up different. How many amens can I get right there? Amen. Every one of us. If we'd have listened to Mama the first time, we wouldn't be where we're at. Or we wouldn't have had to go to where we was at. But guess what? We didn't listen to Mama. We completely disobeyed Mama and went and did our things, and look where our lives got to. If we would have followed Mama's faithfulness, our lives would not be the way and in the shape they are in today. You say, preacher, what are you talking about? I'm just preaching because if it wasn't for mothers, where would a lot of us be? We wouldn't be where we was at. We wouldn't be for those mother figures to different ones. You say, well, preacher, my mama never came. Your mama might have not have been in church, but you had a mother figure. You might have had somebody's mama was praying for you. What's the old song? No, this ain't an old song, it's a new song. Nobody's going to, I know it's talking about a couple, but the truth to this song, no one loves you more than God, mama, and me. That's the truth. God and mama is going to love you more than anybody. We can see her faithfulness. We can see her faithfulness because of the virtues of the woman that she has grown up, of how she spent time and time again doing things for the cause of Christ so that you could have a better life. How many times have you walked in the middle of the night and seen your mama down praying? As Christy made mention of, when Miss Beverly would see her kids going through something, they would walk in, or they would see her drop and hit her knees and start praying. How many times have you walked in and heard mama praying for you? How many times have you saw your mama praying for you? During her faithfulness, we see her prayers to God and for her children. I believe I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again. There was this brother and sister, and I believe the mama was already gone, but the sister said, I'm going to pray for you until you get saved, talking to her brother. And he went out and said, she said, I was going to get behind this couch and pray. And he went out, did his thing, and came back and heard her still in there praying. So he left again, and he came back again. And still, it was getting later each time. By this time, it was like 11 or 12 o'clock. And he walked up on the front porch, and he still heard her in there praying. He left again and went and drank a few more. And he came back about 2 or 3 o'clock, and his sister was still in there praying for the salvation of her brother. It's mothers like that we need. Yes, I know this was a brother-sister prayer, but we need mothers that's going to drop down, that's going to pray for their children, that's going to pray for their families, and they're going to reach out and touch God, because it's only God can help our families anymore, because they're falling apart. This nation's going to hell. We need mothers. We need the unfeigned faith of our mothers to be faithful to God and to pray. Just as Paul was charging Timothy, said, I've seen where it first started. It started in your grandmother. It started in your mother, and I see that it's inside of you too. How many of us would be where we're at, as I said a minute ago, if it wasn't for our mothers praying? Mamas, keep being faithful to God. Don't give up. Just because you may not have the answers that you wanted, keep praying. Your faithfulness is being shown in each prayer that you're being lifted up for your children, for your families, or whatever. God is hearing your faithful. What does the Bible say? The faithful prayer of the righteous, what? Availeth much. Keep praying. Keep being faithful. We see the faithfulness of our mothers here. Not only do we see her faithfulness, but in verse number 4 it said, greatly desiring to see their being mindful of their tears, that I may be filled with joy. We see her joy. You know, I've never quite understood it, and I probably never will. Yes, I know some mothers, some ladies can have some attitudes. But I've never understood how a woman, a mother, can be going through life and everything falling apart, down to their lowest, crying through her tears, but still yet have joy. I've not yet understood that. And a man, they get that low, they get mad, they get angry. I mean, we'll just be honest. But a mama, whenever she sees something that she don't like from her kids, or whether something with her family's going on that ain't what she's been praying for, whenever her faith is getting tested, we can still see her joy. A mother's joy is like no other. When we're down, when mama comes and puts her arms around us, how does it make us feel? It makes us feel loved. We feel the joy that comes from mothers. We see the joy. And we see in verse number 4, it says, greatly desiring to see thee, being mindful of thy tears, that I may be filled with joy. Can I tell you right quick of one thing that I believe that helps mamas get through their worst times, that when they're being full of tears, when their lives being tested, when their kids are being hurt, or when their kids are not where they wanted them to be and that they pray for them to be? Do you want me to tell you what helps your mother get through these times? She knows the joy of the Lord is coming in the morning. She knows that this is not the end. She knows that her faithfulness is going to pay off, and she keeps the faith of praying, and she's seen God answer time and time again, and she continues to have the joy because she knows that God's going to answer, that God's going to answer her prayer, whether it's here on earth or whether it's while she's gone. She's going to get her prayers answered one way or the other because she's praying to the only one that could ever control, the one that has all control over everything, and she's going to continue. That's how your mamas can be happy. You say, Mama, why are you so happy when this happened or when that happened or when the way life's turned out? Because she knows the joy of the Lord cometh in the morning. She knows that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. She knows the promises that God has gave her. She knows that the promises of one day she's going to awaken to His likeness, that she's going to be able to walk on streets of gold. She's going to be able to have a heaven when she leaves this walk of life, that she knows that this is not the end. That's how she can have the joy. That's how she can smile through the tears. That's how she can smile through the pain. That's how she can smile every time you break her heart. That's how she can continue because of the joy of the Lord. How many times have we as children broke our mother's heart? But yet, she still loves us and smiles. That's because of her faithfulness in God. She knows her joy is coming. You're the apple of every mother, every child. You're the apple of your mother's eye. Your daddy loves you, but your mama loves you more. I'll go ahead and tell you that now. Because mama's got 9 months ahead of daddies. They have a connection in 9, 10 months. Every 10 months now. It used to be 7, 8, 9, now it's up to 10. We need to split them out because they sure ain't getting better. They're getting worse as they come out. Tell me that ain't the truth. But we see her faithfulness. We see her joy. I can remember my mama going through her worst time. But yet I can still see her smiling. Yes, my mama's not here this morning. Thank God she'll be here next Sunday with us. But next weekend, but she ain't here this morning. But I can remember looking at my mama during my daddy's sickness and during his death. And my daddy also telling her, honey, it's going to be all right. Just keep your eyes on God and keep on going. And I can see my mama smiling through her tears. And I can remember different times through her life and where I've upset her, that she continued to smile through the tears because of the decisions that I've made and the choices that I've made. And I can still see her smiling through her storms. She sings a song, Impending Storms, to continue to trust in Jesus. That no matter what we're going through, to trust in Jesus. That the storm is just here for a little while, but God's forever faithful to His children. She gets joy in knowing that the storm is only temporary. Have any of y'all ever been through a storm that's lasted forever? No, you have not. You're driving down the road and you run into a storm just in a few miles. That storm's what? It's gone and over. What's on the other side of that storm? The sun and blue skies is as shining bright as it can be. That's how our mothers get through it, because they've been there one too many times. And do you know what they want for you? They're praying through their faithfulness so that you can see the joy and have the joy inside of your life that she has to help you get along in your life. You say, preacher, you're preaching mighty different or mighty hard on Mother's Day. No, I'm here to tell you, if we would have listened to Mama and we'd have got down on our knees and said, Lord, I want the faithfulness that my mama's got. I want the faithfulness and the joy that my mama's got. Or I want the faithfulness and the joy that my mother figure has. Then we would be in a different situation in our churches and our lives. Amen. But somewhere along the way, us and taught us in life, we throw it out the window. You say, what do you mean, preacher? Verse 5, when I call remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in thee. Where's our faith at today? Where's most people's faith at today? Guess what? It ain't in God. You know what that unfeigned faith means? That no matter what, she was faithful. Our mamas taught us something and can teach us something. You say, well, I don't have a godly mother. Well, my friend, there's somebody close enough to you that can be a godly mother figure to you. You say, my mama's not here. Remember her heritage that she left behind. Remember what she's done or what she did in your life. You say, well, I wasn't raised of it. Well, honey, get beside somebody that's been raised, that goes to church. Get under the prayers of the faithful, of the Proverbs 31 woman. We see, when I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in thee, which dwelt first in thy grandmother, Lois. Do you want to know where your mama got it from? Oh, look at your grandmama. That's probably where she got it from. So grandmothers, don't you stop either. You keep on praying for them grandbabies. You keep on praying for your grandchildren, even if they are little right now. Keep praying that God would save them the first chance they get, that they wouldn't walk away from the path of righteousness, that they wouldn't travel down that wide road, that they would stay on the straight and narrow road and walk with God wherever they go. They can teach us some life lessons because it started with grandmother, then we see it went to his mother, and now it says, I trust that it's put inside of you. What's put inside of you? Well, let's read verse 6. Wherefore I put in thee remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. I preach a message on being stirred up by the Holy Ghost or being stirred up by the Spirit. We've all got the same ingredients. We've all got the same thing, but some of us don't get stirred up like others. Well, honey, I say to you, if I can't stir you up, if your sister or your brother can't stir you up, if your friend can't stir you up, well, my friend, your grandmama or your mother should be able to stir you up, and you should be able to remember of what mama and grandmama instilled inside of your heart, and look at your life and say, God, is this what mama and grandmama want? Or am I disappointing them and hurting them because this is not what I've been taught? We need to stir up what mama and grandmama has put on the inside of us. It's time that we quit playing games and saying there's this or there's that. No, there's not this or there's that. There's heaven, there's hell. There's Jesus is the only way. By the blood. There's no other way. There's no alternative. There's not no turning over no new leaf and starting a new life. My Bible taught me. You say so-and-so hurt me. Well, mama hurt me because she don't like what Your mama loves you when nobody else is going to love you. I can promise you that right now. When you think that you're unlovable, mama loves you. Mama has taught you something. And I could go around each and every person inside of this sanctuary this morning. And I can ask, what has mama taught you? What has your mama taught you? And I can tell you what a few answers are going to be of what mama has taught. We done heard what Mike's answer was. We done heard what Christy and Terry's answer was. And if I would go on, we've done heard before what Miss Bonnie's answer is. I could go on throughout the room and we could just see and go through different ones. I can look at Miss Vicki. I know what her answer would be because she told me during the hardest time of her life. Her mama's faithfulness. That she's seen inside, that she's seen God inside of her life. That she knew what Miss Sylvia had was because of God. And I can look at different ones. And Miss Cheryl, we can look at her, and as she would look at her mother, 93 years old, still coming to church. I mean, she still gets out and drives. What more example can you have? Christy is saying a minute ago, when they was not doing what they needed to do, they could see their mama praying. My friend, that's faithfulness. That's joy that she has, that God's going to answer her prayers. And we can look and we can learn from the life and have a remembrance of what our mothers teach us. But so many times, we do what we want to do.